Welcome everyone to our next round of Around the Globe webinar series, where we have a chance to speak with innovators, companies, researchers, investors that are moving innovation forward in the ophthalmology space. And today I am excited to have Josh Moriarty, CEO for Okogen, here joining us. Josh, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Sanjeev. I'm excited for our conversation today.
Well, we want to get to know you, want to get to know Okogen. So why don't we dive in? Maybe if you could give our audience just a little bit of update about who you are and some of the role that you play within the company, as well as an update on where Okogen is today.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been working in the eye care space, specifically on the development side of things, for nearly 20 years. It's hard to imagine that next summer will be 20 years. And I joined Okogen about 2.5 years ago, and we're a company that we're developing a new fixed dose combination product to treat patients with acute infectious conjunctivitis, both forms, both bacterial and viral.
You've seen sort of the evolution of Okogen over a period of time. Maybe you could give the audience a little bit of an update on some of the near-term or recent achievements that you guys have had as a company.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, in Q4 of last year, we closed a Series B financing, which was very exciting. As I'm sure most people know, the financing world is not what it was 10 to 15 years ago. But we got through it. We've got a great group of investors that really support what we're doing and are behind us. And now we're fully funded through our phase 2B clinical trial, which we'll be conducting in India this summer during the monsoon season over there. Financing closed, we charged ahead. We formulated our new product. Originally, the company was developing a product for just viral conjunctivitis. We've now widened that so that we'll be able to treat both viral and bacterial conjunctivitis.
That's great. And when you're thinking about the market for this type of product, this fixed dose product, and the type of conjunctivitis that you're intending to be able to treat, take us through what you envision in the practice pattern. What is the experience of the patient, and how maybe new technologies might come into play as we think about the evolution of healthcare.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the reasons when we were looking at making some changes from studying just a product for viral conjunctivitis to the wider market of acute infectious conjunctivitis, we looked at how these patients are seen by healthcare professionals and how they're diagnosed, or oftentimes in the case not truly diagnosed, and then how they're treated. And what we wanted to do is create a drug that could be a one-stop shop, right, for either form of acute infectious conjunctivitis, and really match it right to that treatment paradigm for these patients and for the healthcare professionals. As we start to look in the future, certainly a disease category that telehealth will have a huge impact on, already does today. We do know that, urgent care settings, minute clinics or urgent care, it's the fastest growing segment. If you look historically, primary care, which in today's world includes primary care for adults, pediatrics for children, and then urgent care, acute infectious conjunctivitis represents 1 to 2% of office visits around the globe. Right, that's a huge segment. And so when we look at it and we say, well, is this something that you could diagnose over telehealth? Well, certainly for at least a conversation to understand how the patient is feeling and what their eyes are looking like. But one of the things that we also want to do is how can we utilize artificial intelligence or AI to better diagnose the disease, even in a setting like this. It could be quite possible that if I had pink eye right now, that I could be having a telehealth visit with you, Sanjeev, and you would have an AI plugin that could actually diagnose me.
So that's wonderful, being able to incorporate innovation, recognizing that this is not just a sort of a local condition, but it's a global condition with the number of patients that you may be able to engage with on a global basis. How is Okogen thinking about strategic imperatives? How is Okogen thinking about how do we engage or be able to have access for this drug in multiple markets globally?
So ultimately, once we have the results from our study, we're going to be looking for a partner, right? We understand that as a small company, commercializing and creating a commercial sales force, it costs a lot, and the infrastructure is there, right, with some of these larger companies. And it's what they really do best, right? Small, nimble companies like Okogen are great at the earlier stages of development, but then trying to truly find that commercial partner. So
makes sense. And certainly staying true to the innovation piece of it, and then letting other companies that stay true to the commercialization help out and be able to carry the product forward. Any final messages from your end to the ophthalmic community or the eye care community about some timelines or things that they can expect from Okogen over the next, call it 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, absolutely. So things are going to move pretty fast for us, right? So we closed our financing at the end of last year. While we were doing that, we were working to finalize our formulation and our stability data for our fixed dose combination product. We're expecting in the first quarter of this year that we'll have approval over in India to move forward. Our regulatory package has gone in at this point in time, and they're reviewing. We'll be conducting our study starting in June of this year, and by November, I expect to be at Academy in Orlando, and sharing some positive data with everybody out there.
Great. Well, thank you, Josh, for obviously giving us an update on where Okogen is. We're excited about the prospects of the clinical trial and the data that comes from that. And we wish you and the team well as you progress forward.
Great. Thanks, Sanjeev. It was a great conversation.
Thank you.